Sometimes the universe has to literally snatch something from you just to show you what you actually need to face. So I didn't post for a couple weeks, and that's not because I'm not passionate about making the videos that I'm making. But if I'm being honest, it has been a really emotional, I would say, 2 months for me. We had a crazy eclipse, and it is April, and that's my birthday month. And in true Aries fashion, I always get super emotional during my birthday. So I just wanted to kind of take a step back and get really intentional because I'm a firm believer in quality over quantities. And I think it's important to just really sit with yourself and do some check ins to make sure that you're truly happy. So I spent this past month kind of sitting with some uncomfortable truths, some more serious than others. And one of them being that I got hacked on TikTok. And I know that sounds silly, but when you're trying to build a personal brand and my views just started climbing, I was getting a lot of views, I was getting a lot of engagement, poof, gone. And yes, that sounds silly. Initially, I was really upset and I was wondering why is this happening to me? I was just climbing views, I was just building momentum. And so I sat with myself and I was like, okay, it's fine. I'm going to get this back in a day. No problem. Well, the day turned into we're almost at a month now. So I'm like asking myself, why did this happen to me? I would wake up and I would do my morning routine and then I would make a TikTok video and it all kind of tied back into my personal brand. And when you start making content, there's so many different platforms that you have to post on. TikTok, you can more be yourself. You don't have to seem as put together. You can kind of just post what you're thinking. And when that was taken away from me, I was just like, okay. So after this was taken away from me, I didn't realize it at the time, but days at work were just more annoying to me and other aspects of my life. I was just not feeling fulfilled. I would come home and I would talk about things I don't normally talk about with Jess. And this is why it's so important to have good people by your side and not just like the surface level, oh, you got hacked, that kind of sucks. When you have good people on your team, they want to get deep with you and they want to get to the root to the problem. So it wasn't until she kind of sat me down and she was like, okay, I'm hearing you talk really different the past 2 weeks about different areas of your life. And this all stemmed from when you got hacked and when this something was taken away from you. So let's like sit for a minute and figure out what is this trying to teach you right now. So after sitting with myself, I realized it really had nothing to do with the app and getting hacked. The lesson was to focus on the parts of my life that I was avoiding. It was keeping me from facing how burnt out and misaligned that I felt in other areas of my life. And the content I was posting was essentially giving me some sort of high. It was a distraction from all these other things. So the second it was taken away from me, it exposed how I was truly unhappy in other areas of my life. Again, I know this kind of sounds like a first world problem, but I'm leaving the deeper stuff out of this. This is just one minor example that I can share with you guys because the lesson here is that life will get loud if you ignore its whispers. I realized something during all of this that we are so busy trying to juggle it all. We try to juggle the job, the relationship, the content, our future goals, that we don't actually take the time to sit with ourselves to figure out what's working and what's not. We wait until something breaks. We wait until we're burnt out. We wait until we're hacked, we're ghosted, we're embarrassed, we're laid off to finally look at ourselves and be like, how the hell did I get here? So I asked myself, what if we didn't wait for the breakdown? And what if we made it a practice to actually sit with ourselves and check in until life forces us to? Because what I've learned is if you don't slow down and prioritize what actually matters, life will do it for you. And it might come in the form of something being taken away, but it's just a redirection, a forced pause for us to stop and say, am I okay or am I just distracted? Because the hack wasn't the problem, it was actually the wake up call. The second the platform was gone, I had to face the parts of my life that I was avoiding. And it showed me something else. It showed me that I care deeply about what I put out in the world and the brand that I'm building. Because if I didn't, this wouldn't have affected me as much as it did when I lost it. Sometimes, and we all know this, things will fall apart just to show you how much it actually mattered to you. So I just turned 29. So 28 taught me this. You can't keep moving through life without checking in with yourself. And if you don't do it intentionally, life will force you to. You can only live in limbo for so long. We all wait until something breaks to ask ourselves, am I okay? But the goal is to catch it before we have the actual breakdown. So here's your reminder to sit down and ask yourself, am I still aligned? Am I fulfilled or am I just busy? And what am I avoiding right now? Something else I want to mention, because after you sit with yourself and you ask the right questions and you figure out what your next steps are going to be, nobody talks about how hard it is when you know what the next steps are and you know what you need to be doing, but it's going to take time to get there. It's very frustrating when you know your next step, but life still makes you wait, but it's all for a reason. So it's important to know that even though things will take time to be where you know you need to be, you can still set the intention and you can take baby steps to where you want to be every single day. And that's where your power is going to lie. And what this channel is all about, building confidence. And confidence is a byproduct of showing up for yourself again and again, even when it's uncomfortable. It's saying to yourself, I'm not where I want to be yet, but I trust myself enough to keep going. You don't need to fake it and you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be honest. And honestly, I kind of hate the term like fake it till you make it. Like, no, you don't need to fake it. You just need to be yourself and take those baby steps every single day to get to where you want to be. And remember, your energy is the most valuable currency. Do not give it away to things that drain you. If you're going to pour into something, let it be yourself, up close and personal. This is your permission to pause, to realign, and to step into this next chapter with even more clarity than before. We don't need chaotic moments to happen in order for us to change or get more aligned with where we want to be, who we want to be. We can start now by checking in with ourselves and change. You can change whenever you want to, okay? And you didn't lose anything. You just got redirected. And this time, you're going to build it better.